So, IGN gave the Black Adam movie a 5 out of 10. Let's correct that. Hey, what's up, low-hanging fruit? It's your boy, Dwight Smith. And today, I am laser focused on correcting a wrong. All right, folks, no dancing around, no 1-2 jokes about it. Let's get straight into the meat and potatoes of this one, folks. I have a beef with IGN today, a real beef, because of a certain score they gave the Black Adam movie. Now, upon seeing this scoring on their IG account, I had to dig a little deeper, folks. I went to the actual website to read what's that about. So I read the article on Black Adam review, and when I went to it, the first thing I seen about the article, to access the article, in all bold letters, mediocre. Really? So right off the bat, they're using clickbait just to get you to get onto the article, which makes sense in this day and age where rage literally drives most businesses online, such as Facebook and Twitter. But with that being said, I still prefer something that's more truthful and honest to the material wording used in the article. And believe me, after reading the full article in its entirety, it is not summed up by the word mediocre. And I start off this point not just because I enjoyed the movie, actually, we'll get to more of that in a moment, but also because the word mediocre isn't used, hinted at, or even really speaks to, as I said before, anything or any of the points made in this article, which is very well done by Joshua Yule. Hope I'm saying that last name right. I will not be saying it for the rest of this video. Speaking of which, the link to the article on the IGN website can be found in the description below. I highly recommend you go and read it. He makes great points, which I will get to in a second. So with a quick snapshot of 5 out of 10 on their IG page and the big bold letters of mediocre as a tagline on their article, they're clearly trying to get you hemmed up enough to go and actually read the article. And I commend them on that because they got me to do it. And I'm not really one to read articles, so definitely hats off to you all. And of course, as a content creator on an oversaturated platform myself, I get it. First things first, I actually want to correct this rating from 5 out of 10 and add on 1.5 points, making it a solid 6.5 out of 10. And if for some reason we don't like half points, let's just bump it on up to 7 out of 10, because I believe that's what it truly deserved. So the points that Joshua makes in the article are solid, some debatable, but solid nonetheless. And yes, Joshua. I will be saying Joshua this whole video. I can't call him Josh. I don't know Joshua. Do you? In the article, Joshua makes points such as how Dwayne Johnson plays the character stoically while also coming into a newfound sense of humor and charm in this new age. He says that the character comes off as one note at times, which I find to be the point of the character, actually. We simply have here another man frozen in time, but for this one, it's 5,000 years. And when he comes into this new age, he has nothing to guide him except for his life experience as a slave turned into a man with godlike abilities, and this new age family that actually has similar experiences of oppression in his own hometown. So you see, there are similarities, but very big differences to make this character come off a lot more stoic. Joshua continues to make another good point when he says that Dr. Fate's magic is too reminiscent of Marvel's Doctor Strange's magic, which I cold-heartedly agree with. I feel like they should have approached this with a drastically different magic animation style and then basically worked from there. He also continues to talk about how Hawkman's backstory wasn't even touched on at all, but he does at least admit they would have overstuffed the movie even more. Also, the villain is one note. And of course, I pretty much agree with both of those sentiments. As you can see, I pretty much agree with a lot of the article, if not most to all of it. But that's not what I really want to talk about. I really want to talk about, and I'm more so worried about, how these points lead to a 5 out of 10 for Black Adam, which was a very enjoyable movie, may I remind you. Joshua talks about how the back-to-back action scenes in the movie do more harm than good, taking away from time that could be spent on character backstory and not having to stuff exposition into short scenes. I'm pretty on the fence with this point because I've sat through some very expositionally stuffed scenes in different movies, and none of the scenes in Black Adam really gave me those same vibes, those same feels, you know what I mean? I feel like we're in this age where we have just completely forgotten how to just have fun and to actually see just having fun as a good thing. I cannot begin to tell you how many movies from the 2000s I've watched this year alone where I finished watching it and I just thought to myself, that was hilarious. And that's it. No big payoff, no real point, no underlying agenda. Just plain fun. And I kind of look at Black Adam in a similar light. So I believe this disconnect is in the headspace that you are in as a person versus the headspace the movie wants you to be in while you're watching it. You know, expectations. I believe while Joshua and others have taken the evolution route, I believe others like myself have taken the adaptable route. Let me elaborate. See, now on the evolution route, let's say you've been watching smut films all your life, and so that's what you expect. But then you're 13 or 14, and it's 2012, and the Avengers come out, and you finally go on your first date, and subsequently go to the first movie you've ever been to without your parents. See, now your expectations have risen, and you expect movies afterwards to hit a certain threshold to meet your standards, and so on and so forth. And as for the adaptable route, we have standards as well, but we more so focus on what we like and enjoy. So when it comes to movies, games, TV shows, we can be a bit more impressionable. You see, when people on the evolution route go and see a movie, their expectations cannot and will not be swayed. They've seen the trailer firsthand and they know what to expect and they know what they're going into. And as for adaptable route people, when a movie review page gives a low score on a film you've been looking forward to for about 3 years, you're pretty swayed. And this is why people tend to get very upset when their favorite movies have low Rotten Tomato scores, or make whole YouTube videos about certain IGN scores. And speaking of Rotten Tomatoes, that actually connects perfectly to the point I'm making right now. You'll usually find people whose job it is to review movies and media as such, like Joshua, to be more on the evolution route of thinking, which is to be expected because they have standards that are put forth not only by their personal likes and dislikes, but also this being their livelihood and knowing that a ton of people require their opinion to know if they need to spend their hard-earned money to see this movie or not. So there is more risk there. While people like myself who don't benefit or disbenefit, that's not a word, they have the freedom to switch their minds at the flick of a wrist, a flick of a switch, or a snap of the fingers, all of which leads to such a highly margined difference in the critics' score of Black Adam of 39% and the audience score of 89% as of the recording of this video. In the review, Joshua talks about how Superman is mentioned time and time again in the movie instead of Black Adam's main rival in the comics, Shazam, who he literally shares all the same powers as. After reading this portion of the article, I was pretty much confirmed in my previous theory about evolution and adaptable thinking routes, as someone like Joshua is confused by such blatant sequel baiting as to someone like me who expected this from the very beginning, and it's pretty much common knowledge. And of course, I don't say this to say that Joshua or anybody who's evolutionary thinking is dumb, but I say this because ever since The Rock was announced to play Black Adam in the movie back in 2016 or 17, whichever one it was, he has been raving about how the power scale in the DCEU will be changed forever after this one, and he has just been outright challenging and calling out Henry Cavill / Superman for the past 3 to 5 years now. So, just to be clear, I do not think either thinking route is superior to the other when talking about games, TV shows, or any entertainment media, or anything at all really. Instead, I believe having a mix of both routes of thinking makes for not only a more enjoyable cinematic experience, but also a more fairly balanced scoring system. Which is why I confidently put Black Adam the movie at a solid 7 out of 10 famous points. Let's just go ahead and make that a thing now. Well, thank you Joshua for watching. Thank you everybody for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to give it a good old thumbs up liking it, and also be sure to comment down below what you would give Black Adam the movie out of 10 famous points, just to make sure we're on the same page here. Also be sure to follow me on IG and Twitter at IBFamousWDS. I'm actually going to start posting short reviews myself on movies, starting with Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which I will be seeing in about 2 hours. Very excited. All right, folks, that just about does it. One more big shout out to everybody in the world named Josh. Future Dwight, play me out.